for Sunday Service episode number 71, hot off of UFC 326. Charles Oliveira gets it done by decision. The BMF title is now possibly dead. The UFC might just have to get rid of it. That's what people are saying. Charles Oliveira is boring. That's truly not what a BMF title fight should be about. There's a lot of criticism going on with the main event. Some I agree with, some I disagree with. But overall, last night, in all honesty, was not very good of a numbered event. I mean, the main event definitely did not deliver on what we were thinking it could be like. The co-main event wasn't the worst fight, but you kind of did leave wanting more. Rob Font, Raul Rosas Jr. was an absolute snooze fest. Jailton Almeida pretty much reincarnated himself into Raul Rosas Jr., and that just killed all the hype around Chi Wiwis because nobody's going to want to see him fight after that. Drew Dober did get it done, but with a little bit of asterisks, as there was once again some betting controversy as far as the line movement leading up to the fight with Michael Johnson. But since it was on the main card, I'm sure the UFC thought, well, we can't really take it off. This is the first card on CBS. This fight is going to be on CBS. So we should not take this fight off the card, because if we do, then it's not a good look for the sport. But at the end of the day, most people that's going to be in this chat probably know what happened with the line movement there. We'll go over it. Of course, Rodriguez gets a round 1 KO, gets his revenge on Bruno Ferreira. Definitely deserved performance of the night on that one. And the prelims were pretty awful. I don't know what to say about this one. We can definitely dive into that because I was in shock watching everything that happened in that fight. Not just because of the points taken, not because of the nut shots, but also how the fighters reacted to it. Wild stuff. We're in an age in the UFC where fighters are just so scared to take any risk that these fights are they're just not great. They have not been good. Just flat out. 2026, the fights have not been very good. They just haven't. There's been a couple that have, exceeded expectations, but last night's card was not very good. Dante Johnson, Cody Garbrandt. My boy Dante looked terrible. My boy Dante looked awful. You're going to a decision with Cody Garbrandt, a split decision nonetheless, getting your face jabbed off. We'll talk a little bit about that one. I'm sure some people lost money, including myself, on either fight doesn't go the distance or the under or Dante KO, whatever. Alberto Montes was probably the cleanest performance of the night. Ricky Turcios, terrible. He gets it done by sub, dives right into the anaconda choke like he was not supposed to do. It's probably the only thing he should have had on his mind was don't give him the anaconda choke, but he gave him it and he took it. Cody Durden takes another loss. Niam Jargo gets it done by decision. Not a great fight, not an amazing fight, but at least the grappling was somewhat entertaining because they were switching positions a lot. Sumaderchi, easy W, stayed at range, absolutely cooked him, honestly. Like, it wasn't even competitive. Aguilar looked terrible, and Sumaderchi looked really sharp, stuffed all the takedowns, grappling held up. He looked good. Rafael Tobias looked terrible. Nergoja didn't even look that great, but he was clearly the better striker, and he got it done. Dog victory there for Nergoja. And Rodolfo Bellato was the highlight of the prelims. If you would have told me Rodolfo Bellato was going to highlight the prelims, I would have said you're fucking nuts, okay? This dude was getting pieced up against Luke Fernandez, and then he caught a little left hook and put him away. The double hammer fist jumping double hammer fist after he knocked him down. Bellato was literally the MVP of the prelims. I mean, I guess you could maybe say Montez, but other than that, this fight sucked. This fight sucked. This fight was okay. This fight was okay. This fight was kind of boring, just one-sided, and not really like going for much. This fight was actually somewhat entertaining, but that was because it was so low level. And then this one was a good scrap for how long it lasted. Bellato was the MVP of the prelims. Crazy stuff. Let's hit the chats before we hop into this, and then we'll go over the main event. Talk about the co-main, We'll go over the betting scandal as well. And then we can go over the White House card that was announced after or before? Yeah, after the Drew Dober, Michael Johnson fight. So after the fight that was possibly fixed, let's announce the UFC White House card. Why not? How we doing tonight in the chat, fellas? I know Dixon was in here before the live stream even started with a lot on his mind. So let's hit it. Hey, John, what did I warn the entire world about all week? Dante Johnson, Cody Garbrandt, both managed by Jason House, and Dante would carry Cody to a decision so they could cash as a plus 600. The house always wins. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be shocked, man, because, I mean, throughout the fight, Dante didn't look very good. So the fact that he couldn't finish Cody Garbrandt, I'm not shocked at. But at the same time, I don't know why he was just holding on to the headlock. Why is he like holding on to the front headlock, trying to dig a guillotine in? It's like, dude, you're not going to get it. Just punch. And Cody Garbrandt will cover up. So, I mean, not a bad shout there, Dixon, because it did look a little fishy. The Dober MJ line movement was a smokescreen distraction they set up so nobody would notice the real corruption that happened. You may not want to admit it publicly, hey, Job, but it's clear as day. I don't have a problem admitting it publicly. Also, hey, Job, did you see the rumors going around that allegedly St. Louis, Missouri gang had MJ's nephew held hostage and they forced MJ to take a dive in round 2 so they could get paid and release him? Yeah, I did see that. So let's pull it up. Marlo Stanfield tweeted at 3:40 p.m. This is before the prelims even started. Michael Johnson has been paid to lose by round 2 TKO. Today, the gang called Gangster Disciples coming out of St. Louis, Missouri are holding his nephew hostage. Well, you know, that is quite the prediction to make when the outcome was exactly that. Round 2 knockout. And honestly, could have been a good sell job. Okay? Because, of course, when you're thinking about this fight, many people have broken down this fight. And what did we say? Michael Johnson's probably going to be lighting him up early, looking good early. But as the fight goes on, Drew Dober probably going to be able to get a KO in round 2 or round 3. So if you were to fix a fight, unlike the Dulgarian and Del Val fight, Dulgarian's one of the best round 1 fighters in the UFC. So if you're going to fix a fight, you wouldn't, to really sell it, you wouldn't tell Del Val to go out there, or you wouldn't have Dulgarian go out there and lose in the first round, because that would be different from how things usually go in his fights. But what usually happens in Drew Dober fights? He's usually losing, and then as the fight goes on, he wins with a knockout. What happens in Michael Johnson's fight? He's usually winning, and then he loses, either by knockout or he starts to lose. So if you were going to sell a fight and fix it to make it the most accurate type of fight, you would probably set up a Drew Dober round 2 or round 3 KO. Round 2 would probably make it the easiest because you don't have to get to round 3, and it makes the most sense, right? It makes the most sense. Michael Johnson literally got round 2 KO'd by Diego Ferreira on a similar punch. Now, I'm not saying it. I'm not, accusing these fighters of doing it, but this is pretty freaking weird, man. I know Dana White addressed it at the post-fight press conference. The media actually asked him about this, and he said it was all bullshit. But dude, I don't know that anyone just comes out and like says stuff like this unless there's some truth to it, let alone before the fight, like hours before the fight, when we already have seen significant line movement going on from Drew Dober the morning of. You look at the screen right now. This is May 7th. You see the timestamp on it. May 7th or March 7th, 5:46 a.m. So that's Saturday morning, 5:46. He's minus 105. And then he moves to minus 110, then minus 120, then minus 125, minus 135, minus 155, minus 177. What did he close at? He got up to minus 210, and then he closes at minus 190. That's on Bet Online. That's a big, significant move. And when you look at where it opened, too, Drew Dober was plus 160. I'm not really going to count this. I'm not counting this because this is normal movement. This is normal movement throughout the week. Lines fluctuate. But the day of, to get that much action, one-way action on one side, and then you pair it with something like this happening hours before the fight, a prediction like this, he's paid to lose by round 2 TKO. And what happens? He loses by round 2 TKO. Very interesting. Why don't we take a look at the round 2 TKO prop on this one and see where the line has moved? Drew Dober to win by round 2 TKO. Plus 650 goes down to plus 575. See if there's any book that got crushed on it. No? Okay. I did see one screenshot. I don't know if I can find it now. It was on Twitter, but the spread of where the money was placed on Dober round 1, 2, or 3, there was like 99% of the money was on round 2. So a lot of these books, for people that don't understand this, a lot of these books may not have taken any action on it because somebody may have just put a big bet on, one book. So the reason why some of these numbers aren't as big or aren't like super wide moved is because of that. These are what the books are getting in and where their lines are moving. So let's say they put it in on DraftKings. DraftKings could be like plus 400 compared to like plus 750 or whatever it was. But yeah, some wild shit going on, of course. And again, in a Michael Johnson fight, we lost it. Again, in a Michael Johnson fight where Michael Johnson had a fight pulled at UFC 324. Who's supposed to be fighting Alexander Hernandez, and the complete opposite happened, where Hernandez was the favorite, and then he flipped to a dog, and Johnson flipped to the favorite, and the line just kept climbing. Insane stuff. I would have liked to hear a little bit more as far as what went on, from Dana. But of course, I don't think he's going to actually say anything because that's all confidential shit. But man, there's no doubt in my mind, the third party tracking that they were definitely made aware of this line move. And considering it was on the main card, I didn't think they were going to pull it. But if this was on the prelims, I guarantee you they would have pulled it. Guaranteed. It was just too important of a fight on the card that they couldn't afford to let it slide. Ditch the Zin. Do you notice lately these cards, the fighters that think are supposed to get finishes always go to decision now? Yeah, I have noticed that. And what I'll say is I feel like the opponent that, in these fights that are not supposed to go to decision, there's usually a big favorite in it, where the big favorite is favored to get the finish fairly easily. I feel like the opponent that's the big underdog is kind of fighting to not get finished as somewhat of a moral prize of like, I didn't get finished by this guy. I gave him 15 hard minutes. Kind of happens, man. Mid-ass event. Yeah. Wait, what happened with Dober and MJ? I'm not saying he got KO'd on purpose. I'm just saying it's all fishy, man. We just went over it, but it is pretty fishy. Dante Johnson got fraud checked by going to split. Yeah. Yeah, that was a bad look. Been cold, but we still riding with you. You don't got to ride with my bets, bro, when I'm cold. Trust me, you ain't going to, make me upset if you're not riding with me when I'm cold. I've been so cold, like unbelievably bad. Unbelievably bad. After the last 3 weeks, after the fights, I'm literally just like dead inside. Dead inside, man. But then you wake up the next morning, you look at the next card, you start to get excited a little bit, you get back in the groove of it. I feel like this week actually could be pretty solid, but we'll see. Could I talk about the Garbrandt fight? Absolutely. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, bro. We haven't even talked about the main event yet, but This is what the live streams are for. We get a lot often these little tangents, you know. Let's talk about the Garbrandt fight. So first of all, let me get a sip of water. Cody Garbrandt is unbelievably cooked. Let's just keep it a buck. This guy honestly lost all 3 rounds to Zhao Long, which is a terrible look. He's scared to throw anything. He's constantly running away. He lost the first round. I don't know how anyone could give Cody Garbrandt any round, but 3 judges managed to do it. Because for one, he really did nothing the entire fight. But for 2, he was getting outworked the entire fight. Round 1, Zhao Long outlanded him 20-10. And he landed a head kick. And if you want to say like some flash knockdown or whatever, I'm not really trying to argue the scoring here, but Garbrandt was down 2 rounds to nothing. 3rd round. Well, first of all, 2nd round, they clashed heads based off of Cody Garbrandt ducking his head. There's a clear headbutt or a head clash of heads. Nothing was done. Round 3, nut shot. He gives him a warning. And then a couple seconds later, another nut shot. And the nut shot, yeah, it was probably bad. Like the nut shot was probably bad. I'm sure it fucked with Cody's nuts. I'm not saying it didn't, but it's not like it was intentional. Cody was literally spinning away as Zhao Long's throwing the kick, and it lands on his cup. He takes, there's a pause of action. He starts dry heaving. Apparently he threw up in the bucket. Bad nut shot. They take a point. Cody's pissed, right? Cody's all pissed. He's like, this dude fucking hit me in the nuts. I puked. I'm pissed now. I want to fight this guy. Urgh. You see him pacing. It's like, dude, you haven't wanted to fight this entire time. And now you want to fight him because he kicked you in the nuts and made you throw up? Fair play. Go fight him. And he runs. They start the fight. He runs across the cage and does like a jumping, flying knee. And basically they just like collide. Nothing really happened. They just collide. Nobody got hurt. And then they land and they both look at each other. They both look at each other and it's like, well, fuck, now what? You know, we haven't really wanted to do anything this entire fight. But now in round 3, after I kicked you in the nuts, we want to fight, man. We want to fight. So let's run at each other, collide in the air. And then what? So then what happens is they go back to doing what they were doing, which was staring at each other. And Zhao Long's like pointing to the ground, fucking idiot, pointing to the ground, like, oh, let's go. And Cody's like, yeah, let's go. They do nothing. They end up in the clinch. And Zhao Long hits him with like the slightest knee to the nuts. The slightest knee. It clearly did not affect Cody. But the fact that he did knee him to the cup, Cody's like, oh, come on, man. Another nut shot, 3rd one this round. So then they take a pause. Herb Dean takes another point. So he took 2 points in round 3. And the broadcasters are saying, well, now Zhao Long needs a finish. No, he doesn't. He doesn't need a finish because he should be up 2 rounds to nothing. And if he wins the 3rd round, then it's 28-27. Zhao Long wins. And maybe Cody's corner was telling him the same thing. But after the 3rd nut shot and after the 2nd point was deducted, Cody Garbrandt was literally just running around the entire time, not trying to engage. Zhao Long isn't even coming close to hitting him because he's literally chasing him around the octagon, trying to like wing shots at him, and Cody's just running away. And then we go to decision. Clearly, Cody didn't win round 3. I don't think he won round 2. I don't think he won round 1. So it should be 28-27 Zhao Long. But one judge scored a round for Cody Garbrandt, or all 3 judges scored a round for Cody Garbrandt, and he won. He won a fight. He won a fight in the UFC in 2026 by losing all 3 rounds, and he won the fight by decision. He won the fight by decision. This is where we are at. This is where we're at. You know, I really struggle to think of ways that I could lose bets. And I didn't even have a bet on Zhao Long money line. But if you did have a bet, I guess I did in the many men. I did have Zhao Long in the many men parlay. But, you know, when your fighter wins all 3 rounds and you lose by decision, it's a new way. It's a new way. There's new ways going on every single week to lose money on the UFC. It's crazy. Still thought China should have won on the points. Absolutely should have. Did my Paramount Plus shut down during the Max Holloway fight? Yes, it did. It shut down like in the start of the 4th round or something. I missed about 2.5 minutes. Luke Fernandez is a bum. He did look terrible. What's up, Hayden? Thanks for all the videos and the effort, bro. Still riding. Fuck the skid. Absolutely, brother. Appreciate that. Freedom card is a flop. We will get to that. We will get to that. White House card was a letdown, just like the BMF fight. BMF fight was rough. Football players ain't coordinated enough to be fighters. Any football player that become a fighter has been horrid. Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Is O'Malley ducking Sandhagen? I think he kind of is, dude. I think he is. How do we feel about the White House card announcement? I feel like it sucks and is really good at the same time. I feel like the closer we get to the card, the more excited we'll get. Yeah. Let's talk about it. I'll hit Tracy Wilson's chat real quick. What is up? I'm a new subscriber. Love the channel. Keep it going. Appreciate that. Let's talk about the White House card. Why not? We haven't even talked about the main event yet, but we're giving the chat what they want. So here we go. Here is the White House card. 6 fights. Topuria versus Gaethje main event. Co-main event, Pereira versus Gane. And then we got 4 featured bouts. O'Malley Zahabi, Rufy Chandler, Nickel Dawkins, Lopez Garcia. Right off the bat, when I saw this, I said Lopez Garcia might be the best fight on the card. So they're kind of, bookended in a little bit. I think Lopez Garcia is an absolute banger. I think that's a sick fight to make. And then the main event, it's like a good matchup, but I don't know that it's going to last all that long. So here we go. We got one American, 2 Americans, 3 Americans, 4, 5, 6 Americans. There's only one fight that doesn't have an American. That's Pereira Gane. I don't think you needed to make an American on every fight, nor like really try to push the Americans on the White House card. As a fan, I would have really loved to just have, sick fights and not have to have an American. But I do feel like they'd put the Americans on there that are entertaining outside of maybe Bo Nickel at this point. I mean, he's not like the least entertaining American, but I figured he would be on the card. Like, it's just how the shit goes, They're going to put him on the card because they want to push him and, he's got his relations, But the one thing that was crazy to see today was Justin Gaethje says he was told on Thursday he would not be fighting at the UFC White House event. That came out today, not that long ago. He says he was told he's not going to fight at the White House event. Then one day later on Friday, the UFC called him and told him he might be on the next card. And if we remember what happened on Friday, at the weigh-ins, we saw Hunter say something to Mick Maynard, the matchmakers, basically saying like one of the fights is off, but we couldn't really see what was happening. But that's what we're assuming. And then Dana said one of the fights fell out. And then Friday night, a predominant MMA manager who manages Ilia Topuria says he was up all night negotiating for the White House card, or for one of the White House card fights, which I'm assuming is Topuria versus Gaethje. So the fact that they came up with this main event basically one day before announcing it is pretty fucking wild. So then you have to ask yourself, what was the fight that fell out to where they had to make Topuria Gaethje as the main event? I have no idea. Because I don't think it would be Islam. I don't think Islam would be, for one, pulling out of a fight, nor do I think they would put Islam as the main event. I don't think it's one of these champions. You know, if we look at the rankings in the UFC, I don't really think any of these champions were scheduled to fight at the White House card. I doubt it was Chimaev, and it's not heavyweight. And I'm certain they wouldn't have a women's MMA fight. So it would have to be somebody that's not a champion that was scheduled to be the main event of the White House. So was it like Conor versus somebody? Was it somebody that was retired that was coming back? Was it like George St. Pierre or some shit? I have no fucking clue. No fucking clue. And they are not even giving a peep of information as to who it could have been. That is going to haunt us for a long time. Because for one, I did not want to see Topuria Gaethje at the White House. I didn't want to see it. Because for one, I'm an American. All right? And I love America. I was going to say I like America, but I love America. I don't want to see Justin Gaethje slimed out in front of the White House on America's 250th anniversary of our independence. I don't want to see that. Okay? I don't. But it is a fun fight. It's a fight that had to happen. Gaethje, of course, was going to fight Topuria, whether it was on this card or not. And they were scrambling for a main event. I need to know what this main event was supposed to be, because I highly doubt Pereira Gon was supposed to be the main event, and then they just moved it down. There was definitely a main event lined up without somebody that's a UFC champion right now that fell out at the last minute, and they had to make Gaethje versus Topuria, because in the words of Justin Gaethje, he was not supposed to be fighting at the White House. And there's no way Topuria was fighting somebody else other than Gaethje. I highly doubt it. Unless it was Ilya versus Islam. Unless it was that. I don't know. I guess it could have been. It could have been Ilya versus Islam. But I feel like Ilya would need more time to move up to 170. And I don't think Islam would be coming back down to 155. But let's talk about the card. Topuria Gaethje, I told you I didn't want to see it at the White House because I think Gaethje's going to get slimed out. And yeah, he's American, and Topuria knocks out everybody, man. Just look at how last night went. I left that fight between Charles and Max thinking, damn, how fucking good is Ilya Topuria? All right. How fucking good is Ilya Topuria? You look at the two guys that fought last night, Charles Oliveira, Ilya Topuria knocked him out round 1. Max Holloway, Ilya Topuria knocked him out round 3. How did Justin Gaethje do against those two guys? Justin Gaethje got knocked out by Max, and he got subbed in the first by Charles. So how do we think this fight's going to go? Ilya Topuria KOs him. Simple. So it's a fight that could be entertaining, if Gaethje gives him everything he can handle, but I doubt it. But in all reality, I feel like it's kind of one-sided. Co-main event, Pereira versus Gon. Sick fight. Would have loved to see it be John Jones. There's also the whole John Jones drama of him going on IG Live. He's all pissed about Dana basically not giving him the chance to fight at the White House, or he was just pissed that he wasn't on the White House. And apparently Dana said that he wasn't even in contention for fighting at the White House. They didn't even ask John Jones, but John Jones went on some, rampage on Twitter, basically saying that he was lying and that they were trying to get him to fight on the White House, but they couldn't pay him enough or something like that. But Pereira Gon's a sick fight. The fact that Pereira's going up to heavyweight to be a 3-division champion is unbelievably sick. I love it. It's a striker's delight. Two big boys going to strike it out. I think that's the best fight on the card as far as high level entertainment, stuff like that. O'Malley Zahabi, this is where, I'm kind of getting lost here. This is where I'm kind of getting lost. O'Malley Zahabi, I feel like you could have given O'Malley a more fun fight. This feels like a layup. It feels like a fucking layup. I know Zahabi's on his win streak, and Zahabi's, beaten some decent guys, Jose Aldo, Chito Vera, but he's like 38. And it kind of feels like they're protecting O'Malley from Corey Sandhagen. It feels like they could have easily done O'Malley Sandhagen here, but they don't want O'Malley to lose to Sandhagen on a huge card. And I'm not saying he would lose to Sandhagen. I'm just saying the possibility of him losing against Sandhagen is a lot higher than him losing to Zahabi. I feel like O'Malley runs through Zahabi here. I feel like it's a pretty easy W for O'Malley here at the White House to try to boost his stock back up again. Roofy Chandler is, I don't know, man. Like I know Chandler's entertaining. Like it'll probably be a fun fight. But usually when I want to see like stack cards, what I want to see on stack cards is like really competitive fights. Fights where you can make a really solid argument for like either side. And you're like, yeah, man, I don't know. I guess we're just going to have to see. This card doesn't really give me that. It doesn't really give me that. Roofy Chandler, Roofy's going to fucking slime him out, dude. Like Chandler, I guess he could wrestle a little bit, but he doesn't like, it's not like he's Benoit Saint-Denis and he has a crazy pace that he can keep up and he doesn't have like an elite rear naked choke game or anything like that. Like Chandler could pick him up and dump him, sure, but on the feet, he's getting fucking slimed, man. Chandler's washed. So Roofy is going to knock out Chandler at the White House. And the Fighting Nerds, they're going to get a fucking star in Mauricio Roofy as he slimes out Chandler. Nickel Dawkins? I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said before, I expected Bo Nickel to be on this card, but I thought they'd give him somebody better than Dawkins. You know? Just give me somebody. Give me some name. You might as well throw in fucking Val Woodburn on there again. You know? No disrespect to Kyle Dawkins, and he could win. That's the thing is like Kyle Dawkins isn't bad. He's not bad, but it's like, who cares about Kyle Dawkins? With all due respect, I'm sorry. Who cares? Who cares about Kyle Dawkins? If you would have done like Bo Nickel, God, who could you even give Bo Nickel? Like, I know they were talking about doing Colby Covington. I know that actually tried to do Bo versus Colby, but that was just, it's not going to happen. You know, Colby's not going to sign up to fight at the White House in a fight where he's likely going to lose. You could have done Bo Nickel, Shara Magomedov, but Shara probably wouldn't accept that. Bo Nickel. You could have done fucking Bo Nickel, Kelvin Gastelum, bro. That might have been a better one. Yeah, you could have done that. Bo Nickel, Kelvin Gastelum. That would have been a much better fight than Bo Nickel, Kyle Dawkins. Because I'm pretty sure Dawkins pulled out of the Vicente Luque fight because he was going to be on the White House. Why didn't they just do Bo Nickel, Kelvin Gastelum? Are they that scared Kelvin Gastelum's going to beat him? I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah, he's on the card. Lopez Garcia, I think it's a sick fight. Lopez gets another fucking huge opportunity even after he did absolutely nothing against Volkanovski. So the UFC has a big hard on for Diego Lopez, which, you know, has looked good in a lot of fights, right? Like most of his fights are exciting. I think the Volk fight, Volk's just kind of his kryptonite. Garcia's a guy that's going to fucking come forward. So that should be a good scrap. I like that fight. I got no problems with that one. But overall, you know, I gave the card a 7.5. It's a sick card. But we were promised, you know, 5-6 title fights. We were promised for this to be the greatest card of all time. UFC 300 is probably better than this. UFC 300 was way better than this. And I remember when UFC 300 was announced, everyone was like, this is what we're getting, really? You know? But UFC 300 had fucking Cody Garbrandt and Figgy as the first fight of the night. And that was a full card. This is just 6 fights. It's a good card, but it's not even as good as UFC 300. And people were disappointed when UFC 300. It just comes down to what they were talking about was going to be delivered did not match up with what we got. But I really want to know what that main event was that got pulled out, because I mean, it's got to come out somehow. It's got to come out somehow. Somebody's going to have to leak it. The fact that nobody has leaked it yet, it's pretty impressive, you know? All right, we're probably way behind on the chats, ladies and gentlemen, but we just went over the White House card. You're a geek if you think 300 was trash. Dude, no. UFC 300 was sick. But that was the thing. A lot of people said UFC 300 was trash before the card, but the card delivered. So this card could deliver, you know? And I'm not saying it's trash, but I'm just saying we were promised a lot more. It has to have been Ilya versus Islam as the main event. That's kind of what I was thinking too. Helwani said it was supposed to be John Jones, but couldn't pay him. I don't know, man. I guess maybe. Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. Maybe. I guess maybe. You think it could have been Pereira Jones main event? You know, he said it was a separate fight, though. I don't know. This is all fucking weird, man. This is all fucking weird, because he said there were supposed to be 7 fights and then 1 fight fell out. So now there's 6. But there's still only there's 6 fights, but then they had to put in Gaethje. They had to add Gaethje. Huh? I don't know. Aljo should have been on there. Shara can't fight in the States. Yeah, that's true. Why wouldn't they put a Rabies on the card? I don't know what you're talking about. We all wanted Corey O'Malley. It'd be a much more competitive fight. They didn't get Gable on. Okay, I know who you're talking about now. Dana White said there was a possibility of 7 fight to be added. I think it was supposed to be added, but it fell out. Roofy destroys him, bro. Destroys him. McGregor versus Chandler had to be the main event. Then Roofy was the replacement. I don't think so, bro. I don't think so. They've been off McGregor Chandler for a while. Topuria McGregor? I doubt it. I doubt it. McGregor versus Islam? Highly doubt it. Islam Morales? There's no one else. I'm a big fan. I'm a big Morales fan, so I'm excited. No, I think Islam's going to fight at International Fight Week. I think they're saving him for that. Had to be John Jones. Dana super bitter all of a sudden. I guess it probably could be, because he was kind of bitter. I mean, the way that he shot down the question about John Jones is like, no, we weren't even ever considering him. I feel like that's cap. I feel like that's cap. Pereira Gon prediction? I kind of feel like Gon's going to get him, bro. I mean, I'm not saying Pereira's out of it. Gon's just such a fucking big athlete. But that lighter man skill. That's a good fight, man. It's a good fight. I kind of just danced around that. But I got to do that for now, dude. I don't know. My future bet of Kayla Harrison and Cody Covington died. Ooh, that's tough. I figured she was not going to be on the White House card because, dude, she had neck surgery in January. There's no way she'd be back for that. Islam ducking hard. People need to be talking about it more. I mean, I've been talking about it, bro. Other way, Zhao deserves to lose for 0 fight IQ. Yeah. Yeah, that was disgusting. BP in the chat. What up, BP? What up? We went way back there. I've been yapping. Lots to yap about. Yeah, Dana's anger gave it away, plus the angry John Jones tweets. Yeah, I guess it probably could have been Pereira Jones. Pereira Jones main event. And then maybe the negotiations. Maybe John came back and was like, no, I need more money. And then they were like, no, fuck you. Well, fuck you. You're not on the card. And then they called up Gon. They're like, hey, you want the interim heavyweight champion fucking shot? He'd be like, yeah, give me it. Give me it. And then Topuria Gaethje was made. Maybe that was it. Has Patty the Batty lost all of his hype? And who should he face next? I think he should fight Conor McGregor. That's who I think he should fight. Who does Charles fight next? Oh, well, I mean, we haven't even fucking talked about the main event, bro. Let's go over the main event. If you're in the chat, give me some answers to Adrian 5957's question. Who does Charles fight next? Let me know in the chat right now. Let's talk about this main event. Because I have given a lot of opinions since the fight has concluded. But first of all, let's just give a shout out to Charles Oliveira. All right? Absolutely dominated Max Holloway for 5 rounds. For 5 rounds. Dominant victory. When has anyone ever done that to Max Holloway? It's never happened. You know why it's never happened? Because he's never faced a grappler. And all throughout the week when I was saying he's never faced a grappler before, he's never faced anyone like Charles Oliveira, some dumb people were leaving comments on whatever post I made saying, dude, they literally already fight. He literally already beat Charles Oliveira. You're dumb. You're stupid. Get it through your brain. Charles Oliveira didn't really fight that fight. The fight didn't even fucking happen. Max hasn't faced any grappler before. His entire career. 31 fights before last night. 31 fights. This dude's grappling hasn't been checked outside of his UFC debut where he got submitted. Look at his fucking results, dude. Look at his results. Let's look at this. Dustin Poirier submitted him. Pat Schilling, Justin Lawrence. I mean, look at anybody in his early career. Nobody. Conor McGregor's the one that kind of exposed him before. He took him down 4 times and had 6 minutes of control. And Conor's a pure striker. Pettis, Aldo, Ortega took him down twice, but only had 2 minutes of control time. And most of that control time was not actually on the ground. Nobody has tested this guy's ground game. And then, of course, I'm called the idiot for saying Charles Oliveira has the upper hand in the grappling, and Max has it. We haven't seen Max there. So he dominates him on the ground. He looks much stronger than Max Holloway. Early on, he's going for the submissions. And Max is staying safe. You know, he's fighting off the hands. Charles has a couple of close calls where he's cranking the head. He's pushing for the finish. And then in round 3, the finishing attempts start to go down a little bit because every time Max gets taken down, he's just defending. He's just defending. Round 4, defending. The fight happens, and everyone's pissed, right? It's a BMF title fight. We want to see. I shouldn't say that. We want to see them bang it out. It's for the baddest motherfucker, right? We want to see him bang it out. But that wasn't what happened. It was a grapple fest and a grapple fuck at that. 5 takedowns, 4 submission attempts, 20 minutes of control time for Charles Oliveira. Is Charles Oliveira a bad motherfucker? Yes. Yes. He's a bad motherfucker. But why, on God's green earth, why would he go out there and just strike with Max Holloway after he just got chinned by Ilia Topuria less than a year ago? So bad he went to another fucking dimension, okay? Of course he's going to grapple him. The problem is Max's defensive submission defense was too good that he couldn't finish him. If Charles went in there, took him down, and subbed him in round 1 or 2, nobody would care. It'd be like, wow, he just fucking subbed Max Holloway. Nobody would care. But Max's submission defense was solid, but he couldn't get up. So what is Charles supposed to do? Okay, I don't get the submission. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to let him back up and we can stand and bang. Or should he just keep the position and wait for Max to make a mistake? I'm going to tell you this. Both guys are at fault. If you're a grappler in 2026 in the UFC and you're not submitting guys on the ground, you need to land ground and pound. Okay? You should be selling out on ground and pound. The fighter on bottom needs to take risks to get up to their feet to give themselves a chance to win. When it's that clear that you are getting taken down and you can't get up, but you can defend the submissions, you need to take a risk to try to get back up to your feet, because after 3 rounds of getting dominated on the ground, you know that if you get taken down, you're going to be there the entire round unless you take a risk to try to get back up to your feet. So if you're getting taken out, you got to take a risk. You got to give yourself a chance to win the fight. If that means you get submitted, then so be it. You get submitted, but you gave yourself a fighting chance to get back to the feet to where you could win the fight. Max didn't do that. But at the same time, BMF title fight or not, I am tired of seeing grapplers holding position, working for submissions, but not doing any damage. Not doing a single lick of damage. I know Charles did land some damage, but he wasn't really looking to land damage first. He was looking to fish for a submission or keep his position. If he was unloading with damage, I think he probably could have gotten the submission. I think he probably could have made Max Holloway make a mistake. And this goes for other title fights like Islam versus JDM and Hamzat versus DDP. They are taking them down, and these guys on the ground, they're at just too high of a level. They're not going to get submitted without making some clear mistake or being forced to take a risk. They're on their back. They're trying to stay safe because they know if they make a mistake, they're going to get finished. But if they do take the risk, they have a chance to get back up to their feet, but they're too scared to take the risk. And usually what happens is maybe they'll test their luck. You know, they'll test their luck. They're taken down, whether it's JDM, DDP, or Max. They'll test their luck on trying to find an escape. But the guy on top of them doesn't want to let them out. So what they'll do is they'll regain their position and just hold them there. What they should be doing is trying to gain a more dominant position or land more damage. This would solve everything. What we should do, if you have taken your opponent down and you've been laying on them for more than 3 minutes in the fight, if you have, let's extend it. Let's say 5 minutes. Once you get 5 minutes of control time in a UFC fight on top, not along the cage, but if you've taken down your opponent and you've had 5 minutes of control time and counting, meaning there's more time left in the fight, how about we slide the guy on bottom some type of weapon? All right, some type of weapon. Taser, a little shank. Do something, all right? Because I'm not here to watch control time. I'm not here to watch control time. I'm not here to see you regain position. I'm not here to see you, Raul Rosas Jr. lay in the guy's fucking guard and sniff his crotch for 25, 15 minutes. That's not what I'm here for. Okay? If we could solve this by one thing, once you get 5 minutes of control time, your opponent gets a weapon to try to get back up. What would that do? Well, you might not really just want to try to get control time. You would probably want to try to finish them. How about this? How about we say 5 minutes of control time? Once you hit 5 minutes of control time and you don't have at least 40 significant strikes, then your opponent gets a weapon. They get a weapon for 20 seconds. They can use it to get back up. How about that? All right? It'll make it more entertaining. What do we think, chat? What do we think? What do we fucking think? Turn the channel then. Bye. Gipper picks. Vamos Justin. All right. How stupid. LOL. Who's going to challenge Wonder Boy for the NMF title? Shit, I don't know. Give him fucking Drew Dober. Apparently that guy likes to be nice. White House car blows. All right. Exactly. Honestly, I can see, but you all think you know more than fighters. Then the fighters do get in there and do it then. Gipper Picks is really upset about this. Very upset. The UFC, wow, the White House fight that fell through on Friday night was Islam versus Topuria. No, no, no! Don't tell me that was it, dude. That's gonna break my heart. That is gonna break my fucking heart. Via who? Irati Pratt? SC? The fuck? At Irati Pratt SC. Whoa. I have and can give about Makhachev versus Topuria that will not happen at UFC Casablanca. Ilya Topuria, the White House, although it surprises me to see how many are now pointing out there that there wasn't, and the possibilities weren't far fetched. Quite the opposite. I mean, I could see it. I don't know if I should trust this guy or not, but it looks like he's with Topuria himself. So he's probably got the scoop. I would damn, dude. That's gonna make me sick. I mean, if we got Topuria Islam at the White House, that would have been fucking amazing. That would have been amazing. It does make sense. It does make sense because if Gaethje wasn't supposed to be on the card, then Islam pulls out. Gaethje steps in to fight Topuria. I wonder if it was at once. Yeah, it would have to be at 170, bro. Unless they made it at 155 and then Islam had to pull out because he didn't think he could make the weight. I don't know, man. That's fucking brutal. It's brutal. It's a brutal loss. If we had Topuria Islam in our hands and it fell out and it could have been at the White House card, if you had Ilya versus Islam at the White House card, that would be a 10 out of 10 fight card. 10 out of 10. But instead it's Gaethje. Which is kind of crazy to say because Gaethje's entertaining, but you know what I'm saying. All right, my shit's lagging here, bro. Come on, you bitch. Let's go. Come on. Oh, it's annoying as fuck. Dude, come on. I'm trying to highlight these fucking chats, but it's glitching. Christ. There we go. I'm crying if it was Ilya Islam. Yeah. Yeah, dude. That's fucking brutal, dude. Got screwed at RDR plus 3.5. Do you think that should have hit? I was shocked too. I thought it should have been 29-28. Either way, but most likely Bahia. Irati Pratt is an idiot and works for Ilya reporting dumb stuff that's not actual news. Fair, but let me be upset about it, all right? Eileen Perez's butthole, what up, brother? Or lady. It doesn't make sense, though, because Dana said the fight that fell out was a 7th additional fight. That's why it doesn't make sense, right? Because if the fight that fell out was I don't believe that. I don't believe it. I don't think there was a 7th additional fight. Because if the fight that fell out was the 7th additional fight, then that means Gaethje was already on the card. But according to Gaethje, he wasn't going to be on the card until Friday night. So the fight that fell out had to have Gaethje being the replacement for the fight, or maybe a whole new fight. So that doesn't make sense. Because if they replace Gaethje with someone, then the 7th fight would still be here. Doesn't make sense at all. That's L by the UFC if that's the case. Yeah. Who does Ian Gary and Morales get next? Or do they fight each other? I think one of them's going to fight Islam, low key. I think one of them will. $100K bonus has not changed. The finish rate on main card, a guy like Charles is not going to risk $1 million in win money for $100K. Should be a percentage of the purse. Yeah, I mean, I highly doubt Charles is on a contract where I highly doubt he's on a contract where he gets half. He only gets half if he shows up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I doubt he's on a win bonus. He probably gets a flat amount. He's a champion, former champion. I highly doubt he has like a $1 million to show, $1 million to win type of contract. I highly doubt it. Thanks for your max under 90.5 pick. That helped me hit for 200. Also, the amount of dumb people on your Instagram comments is crazy. My ass off. Your DFS been making me money for months already. DFS has been good as usual, brother. As usual. There's nothing steadier in this economy than Hey Job Picks DFS plays. Okay. Not talking about my sportsbook plays. Not talking about my parlays. Not talking about my straight bets. But Hey Job Picks DFS plays, the most steady thing in the economy. Steadily going up with huge spikes up as well. Stop being a casual, bro. White House card is solid. I didn't say it was bad. Stop being a fucking hater, dead Mike. Dana's a serial liar. Honestly, I think Oki can beat Souza. Probably could. I don't get why Dana didn't just say what happened. Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? Maybe they'll keep it on their back pocket. Who knows? Do you think DDP beats Bahayo? Maybe. 5 rounds, maybe. But I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Hamzat might have took his soul, you know? Rouse is the only one left. Yeah, I had that as well, brother. It's fucking brutal. Do you think Asplin can beat up Petrino? If he can stuff the takedowns, sure. Do I trust him to stuff takedowns? Not entirely. Not entirely. Ali and Ian said it wasn't him. I guess maybe not. Dana can always toss in another fight. Plenty of time for shenanigans. Yeah, I don't know why they only have 6 fights, man. Could have at least given us 10. You know? Give me a little more. Ilya said he hadn't heard anything about the White House on Aiden Ross's stream. I'm starting to believe Dana is hiding something. Why does it have to be so damn secretive? You know? Let us fucking in. Let us in. Let us in. Doubt 100K is going to change his life either. Yeah. I mean, the 100K performance bonus, I feel like should be reserved for people outside of the main event, you know? Like a guy in the prelims getting 100K. That's a big fucking deal. It's a big fucking deal. Like Bellato is probably swimming in it right now. It's like, holy fuck, dude, I got 100K. So yeah, I mean, prelims, that's why I also don't understand. If you're these guys on the prelims, like Tobias, even fucking Aguilar, Naim Jargle, I mean, these guys, man, they get probably 15 and 15. You should be selling out for a finish. Selling out. Like, that could change your fucking life. That can change your life for the better, or it could change it for the worse. But most likely for the better. You get a finish and you're on a 12 and 12 contract, 15 and 15. You walk away with 130K, your first performance in the UFC. Bro, you're good. Like, your bills are paid for at least a year, if not more. You can travel. You can go to different gyms. You can get better. It's going to make your career that much better. Go get a finish. Go get a finish, man. It's a big deal. I don't understand how these guys in the prelims are not pushing for more finishes. It makes no sense to me. Main card, I get it. Main card, like I get it. These guys are getting a lot more money than the guys in the prelims. When you talk about like percentage wise, as far as a guy getting 12 and 12 compared to a guy getting 70 and 70, it's a big, big difference. Damn, where'd it go? Where did we go? Where the hoes at? Not here, brother. The bad streaks make us appreciate the win streaks even more. Circle of life, brother. Circle of life. The MMA gods, the betting gods are fucking testing me right now. Thanks for doing these streams. Let's all smash that like button. Appreciate that, brother. I haven't even asked anybody throughout the stream, but hit the like button for me. It would be much appreciated. And subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 30K. Almost at 30K subs. And like I said on the Wednesday stream, I really wanted to do something big for the 30K subs. But I've had such a shit year betting that I am down a lot of coin. And I don't have money to be giving away right now. And I wanted to do something big like buy some tickets to a pay-per-view event, fly one or two of you guys out, do something big like that. But truthfully, I don't have the fucking money. All right. I'm down horrendous to start the year. My bankroll is shrinking bad. So we might have to wait until I get on a hot streak to do something big. But if we get to 30K, I'll still do something a little bit smaller to celebrate. Vallejos KO, maybe. They got to add more fights. Otherwise, DFS for the White House card. It's going to be Chop City. Yeah, that's true. Low key. It's going to be tough. If Islam was on that card, Trump would have been regurgitating in his seat, hearing the Alhamdulillah speech. Appreciate that, bro. I seen Tobias 10 a.m. Saturday at the casino. Damn. I mean, he is like, what, 22? He's probably like, fuck yeah, let me gamble, bro. Let me gamble my 12K to show. The amount of hype, how do you justify names? Hobby and Doc is, yeah. 100K doesn't make a difference. Super Derek, she didn't step on the gas at all when he looked minus 1,000. Yeah, dude. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Sumiderichi's probably been on like a 20 and 20 contract for like the past 3 years. Was that MJ Twitter rumor about his nephew legit? According to Dana White, it was not legit, but he didn't expand on it whatsoever. Hell of a call, though. Hell of a fucking call. Just joined 3PC, only saw BP's picks and not yours. I mean, I forgot to put my picks on 3PC this week, but I don't put my bets in there. Trust me, right now, buddy, you would not want to be telling my bets unless it comes down to DFS. What is up? Hey, Job, how you doing, dude? I'm doing well. Christian Rios, how we doing, brother? That Gregory KO was crazy. Is he up yet? Dude, that was a nice adjustment. Hell of a nice adjustment. And I actually put a post on X about it. And hopefully I don't get fucking copyrighted here. Ooh. But, dude, his adjustment in this fight, you see how Fajeda is like the guy coming at him, being the aggressor? RoboCop was that guy in the first one. And what happened? Bruno fucking clocked him right down the pipe, straight left. So in this fight, RoboCop took the back seat. He said, come to me. Come to me, motherfucker. I'm going to be the counter striker this time. And he countered him after the stance switch. I don't want to fucking play this because I don't want to get copyrighted. But he countered him with the stance switch. Let me see if I can go off of it. Oh, yeah, there it is. There it is. See, he switched stance, countered him, right hand down the pipe. Good night. Beauty performance from RoboCop. I figured if he used his brain in this one, he could win it and not just be an aggro Terminator. And he did. Shout out to him. Am I limited to 25 on UD? They just hit me with that probably 3 cards ago. No, I am not. And the only reason I'm not is because I'm an affiliate for them. But if I was not an affiliate, I would definitely have been either limited or been banned. But since I'm an affiliate for them, they'll let me play because I bring them customers. So That's the only reason why I'm not limited. But my wife made an account. She tailed my plays. And probably 3 months later, she got limited to $5. So yeah, it happens. It happens. So you got to hit up your family members, see if they want to make an account and, take over their account. There you go. Because the same thing happened to me on Prize Picks as well. I'm not an affiliate for Prize Picks, and I lasted a month. I lasted 1 month, which is 4 UFC cards on Prize Picks, and I'm limited to $5. So can't use Prize Picks anymore. I was surprised you came up with the next week's fights video already. Always do, brother. Always do. Charles versus Ilya rematch. Oh, God, no. Please, no. Love the honesty. First watch, subscribe. Appreciate that, bro. A Paramount subscription would be dope. As a giveaway, you're saying just buy you a Paramount subscription? That would be easy. Would you have been down for Connor and Nate trilogy? Yeah, I'd be down for that. Of course. Sam Patterson choking out your boy Paige like he choked out your boy Danny Barlow. Clyde, I'm going to let you in on a little secret, okay? Sam Patterson by sub is a whale, bro. It's a whale. Sam Patterson sub is a whale, Clyde. I'm with you. I'm with you on this one. Is betting my main income? No, but it is a sizable side income. But in 2026, it's been a sizable side deficit. Okay. UFC cooked my bankroll too. Worst 2-3 months stretch of my life, bro. I mean, the last 4 weeks is literally the worst ever. Even before I started seriously gambling, I never had a streak like this. When you start gambling and you don't really know what you're doing. You don't really know what you're doing. You're just you're making bets. Even back then, this is the worst. This is the worst. Absolutely terrible. Roofie Chandler makes no sense, but I'm here for it. Yeah, I'm here for it too. But Chandler getting slimed. Age, have any predictions on Opataya Zuffa boxing fight tonight? I'm pretty sure Opataya is minus 2,000. Can't bet on it. Sorry, bro. I don't know. Low key though, Charles Oliveira walkout got mad aura. Always does. Always does. Did you see Lucrative's down $3 million this year? $3 million? That's fucking wild. I don't even know how you could lose $3 million. I don't even know how you could get that much money down, but no. $3 million? No way. There's no way. I mean, it depends what his unit size is, but holy fuck. There's no way. There's no way. It'll come back, though. It'll come back. That's how it works. Wow, doesn't even think of that. Damn, that's fire. Got to tell my brother, bro. I'm not sure what that's referring to, but go tell him. Man, Gregory Rodriguez absolutely smashed Bruno Fede. He fought like a robot cop officer out there and clipped Bruno Fede clockwise. Nice. If you take over family members' accounts, do you do their taxes for them for betting? I don't know. To be honest, I can't give you that advice. I wonder what the next BMF fight is. Yeah, I don't know what they do. I mean, they're not going to get rid of the BMF title, right? Because they have to have so many events, and they don't have active enough champions to fight on those events. So they have to have a BMF title fight almost every year. So they got to keep it around. But after last night's BMF title fight, the next BMF title fight that gets announced is probably going to be sorry, I'm fucking burping. It's probably going to be looked down upon pretty heavily because people are calling for it to be retired. Just retire the BMF title. So yeah, don't burp into the mic. I'm sorry, dude. This fucking Pib and the Zin just makes me burp. I started with 2K bankroll this year and I'm at sub 500. Yeah, my bankroll's cooked, bro. My bankroll's cooked. I'm down almost 30 units to start the year. So yeah, I lost almost a third of my bankroll so far. It's going to be fun to make that back, Same crazy year for the NFL. Chandler versus Roofie prediction. fucking roofie KO, probably 1, maybe 2, if Chandler takes it safe, but it's going to get popped, dude. How much do you have to make on UD to get capped or prize picks for your matter? I don't know if it's, how much you have to make. I think it's more what your play is, like if what your net is, maybe. I think it'll flag it based on how well you're doing and like how often you're beating a lot of these lines. Because if you guys are like familiar with how I do DFS on Underdog and all the other apps, whenever I put a play in, the lines are going to move. Why? Because my account is like the best in the world. Like legitimately, I will move the market. Whatever I put in, the lines are going to move. But I'm allowed to continue because I'm an affiliate. But they know I'm good. So they're going to move whenever I put a line in. So if they see that you're constantly like with me on the lines and we go on like a nice hot streak, like, yeah, you might get capped. I would say probably 5 to 10,000, maybe they're going to cap you, but it honestly could be less. I'm from Hawaii and saw John Jones and Jason Momoa at the strip club a couple of days ago in Hawaii. That's funny. Also with this, it helps if you do like other sports. If you do like some other random sports on your apps, it kind of helps. Because if you only do like UFC, like I usually only do UFC, but if you do like some NBA, like one-off NBAs or college football or whatever, I think it kind of helps because then they know you're going to get a little bit more action other ways. And it also kind of helps to do like the long shots as well, like so you have some losses on your record. That's kind of why I like doing the long shots, even though you're not going to hit that often, and we've been super profitable with it. If you do a couple long shots each week, then it's okay. It's going to bring down your winnings a little bit so you can keep your account a little bit longer. But what happened with prize picks and why I got limited to $5 is we went like 3 weeks in a row where we hit those long shots. So I hit fucking, 20x, 30x payouts 3 weeks in a row. And then they were like, all right, we're shutting this shit down. So yeah, that's not true about Lucrative. He was up 1.8 million. He's down like 300K though. Yeah, I would be shocked about 3 million, dude. What's your best year for UFC? It was 2024. Was up over 100 unis. Last year I was up over 80 some units, but if you counted the long shots, we were up like over 200 something, but I don't count those because I just kind of explained it. Who needs the most help from UFC 326? Honestly, I would probably say, God, there's a lot. There's a lot, actually. I would probably say Zhao Long, but honorary mention, Rafael Tobias, man. You're losing to Dair Nurgajai. That's fucking rough, dude. That's bad. That's bad, man. And probably both of these guys, honestly. Charles versus Nate for the BMF. Yeah, Charles would fucking wash him for one. Charles versus BSD. Honestly, BSD, I mean, yeah, you're right, dude. BSD should be in a BMF title fight, okay? He should be in a BMF title fight. You could do BSD Charles. And like, come on, dude. That can't be a bad fight. It can't be. Why not have Armin Versili on the White House card? Because unfortunately, Gaethje beat Pimblett for the interim lightweight championship. So he holds the interim belt. So he's going to have to fight Ilia Topuria. That's why. And Armin, you can't trust the guy. You guys got to focus more on decision props. I've been making bank on them. Yeah, I bet you have. I bet you have been making fucking bank on them because every fucking fight goes to decision. I bet you fucking have, dude. All right, boys. Couple more. then I'm going to hop out of here. But appreciate y'all for joining me tonight. Y'all got to start fading the public. And that doesn't always work. Doesn't always work. Stand up, Jake Hadley. Stand the fuck up. Typical Raul Rosas fashion. Win boring decision and ask Dana for 50 G's. Dana, 50 cheese. Dana, 50 cheese. Here in Oz, all winnings from gambling is tax-free unless you're making like 100K plus, 180K plus a year, and then you are known as a professional gambler. What kind of percentage do you got to fork over to Uncle Sam for tax? It's any winnings. Any gambling winnings, bro. Any gambling winnings, and you can only deduct 90% of your losses. It's communism, bro. But there's a lot of loopholes. A lot of loopholes. Shot myself in the foot the last 2 weeks by tailing Austin's entire bet card except the main events. No. That's tough, dude. After last night, I'm like, I guess we should have a bantamweight BMF title too. That way Sean ain't got to fight Jan or Merab. I don't know does Merab beating Jan beat O'Malley the same, or does Sean get him? I don't know. I kind of feel like Jan would beat him in the rematch, but in a striking fight, I'm not going to count out O'Malley in anything, dude. Drew Dober absolutely outclassed Michael Johnson out there last night. That knockout was absolutely iconic. What an outstanding performance from Drew Dober. It was beautiful. Beautiful. Did you bend one before then to be so from wasn't there is that? Nice. What were your thoughts on Dober landing the coup? Okay. On Johnson? Hell of a sell job. Hell of a sell job. I'm sure you have, but did you hear Islam versus Ilya was the fight to fall through? That's what I heard. That's what the chat said. And honestly, I'm destroyed. I'm destroyed. That's a once in a lifetime fight. If that was what was supposed to happen at the White House card and it didn't happen, honestly, I feel like that's probably why they're not saying it, right? That's probably why they're not saying it. Because if Ilya and Islam was supposed to be the main event of the White House and it fell through, and now we have Ilya versus Gaethje, then it's like second place. Then you're like trying to sell this main event as something that wasn't supposed to be the main event. So then it feels like it's worse. So honestly, I feel like it could be the fact that they're being really secretive about what the fight was that fell through. It kind of makes sense, man. Kind of does. Because Ilya Islam is the best fight maybe in the history of the UFC. Honestly. Ilya Islam is probably the best fight in the UFC's history when you think about two of the best fighters to ever fight. And if that fell through and now we have Ilya versus Gaethje, it's like, well, yeah, it could have been better. Could have been better. So I kind of feel like that's why they're not, putting it out there. Johnson's jab was nice. Yeah, it was nice, but if you had to guess, how many guys do you think you could take at once? Okay, nice. No way they were going to put a non-American main event at the White House. They would, dude. They would. Why wouldn't they? Now it's going to be McNuggets versus Charles. Possibly. All right, boys. I'm going to hop out of here. Appreciate y'all for joining. I'm going to get in the fucking lab, do a bunch of, research on these bets just for them to absolutely fucking suck this Saturday. I'll see you throughout the week for more videos. Check out the early picks video. Most confident video coming later in the week. Big Jive MMA show live on Wednesday night. Until next time, hey, Jive Picks.